people, when they hear the term amicable divorce, they think this means an uncontested divorce where the parties agree on everything. But in Georgia, we actually have a process called the amicable divorce process. And this was designed to be more efficient and less expensive than a traditional divorce. When using the amicable divorce process, what we mean by using the term amicable is that the parties are reasonable people who want to negotiate a fair settlement and move on without the drama of litigation. But these are still parties who have disagreements and are needing the assistance of attorneys for advice and negotiation. But this process is designed to keep the divorce lower conflict than traditional divorce. There are three really big benefits to using the amicable divorce process. This is cost, time, and lower stress. An amicable divorce costs less because the process is streamlined and more efficient than a traditional divorce, which keeps the cost down. The parties are also in complete control of the timeline instead of being on the court's timeline. Sometimes this means fast tracking the process, and other times this might mean the parties want to purposely take their time. And then amicable divorce is the lower stress option. The traditional divorce process through the courts is very high stress because it's adversarial in nature, it's expensive and inefficient, and all this takes a toll on the mental health of both parties. Keeping the case low conflict and less expensive through an amicable divorce keeps the stress level down for everyone. Amicable divorce is an excellent choice for most divorcing couples. However, there's a few situations where it won't work. The first is if your spouse won't agree to do it. Both spouses must agree to use this process for the parties to be able to engage in the amicable divorce process. It's also not right for someone who has an emergency situation. If someone needs a family violence protective order, or they're worried that the other spouse is going to flee the country with the kids, those are situations where you need to get emergency relief from the court, and amicable divorce is not the best process. Also, if you suspect that your spouse is hiding significant amounts of money and you want to take the time and money to aggressively dig into the finances, that is not available through the amicable divorce process. You will want to go through the formal discovery process in litigation. Now, as part of the amicable divorce process, we do use financial experts as part of the divorce, but both parties have to cooperate with turning over documents. So if one party refuses to cooperate with this, then an amicable divorce won't work. In the discovery call, we will gather background information about your situation to determine if amicable divorce is a good option for you. And then if you wish to pursue this route, we will either give you information directly for you to talk about it with your spouse, or we can also contact your spouse directly to see if they will agree to the process. To get an amicable divorce in Georgia, you hire an attorney who is part of the Amicable Divorce Network. And then you or your attorney has a conversation with your spouse to see if they will agree to also hire an Amicable Divorce Network attorney. An amicable divorce in Georgia has streamlined steps that all occur before anything is even filed with the court. The process works towards reaching a full settlement agreement, and then we file all of the documents as a simple, uncontested divorce. With amicable divorce, both parties do have their own attorney, and the attorneys play a very important role. At the beginning of the case, the attorneys will identify our client's goals to help them achieve those during negotiations. Then the next step is making sure that all essential, usually financial information is exchanged between the parties before settlement discussions begin. Then your attorney will determine if any experts are needed. Sometimes we will need a financial expert or a mental health professional. And then we give legal advice to our clients regarding the best settlement terms based on their goals, and we engage in negotiation to reach a full settlement for our client. Cost of an amicable divorce does vary based on complexity, just like with litigation. So a family with high assets requiring numerous property appraisals, valuation of numerous assets, they're going to spend more than a family with straightforward assets. And the same is true if there are complicated custody issues. However, an amicable divorce will almost always cost significantly less than the traditional approach. The timeline for an amicable divorce is really in the hands of the parties. I would say the average amicable divorce takes about 3 months, but some parties may wish to fast track their divorce. And it will depend some on the availability of the attorneys and experts involved, but it could be possible to have a divorce settlement in a month. Other couples might want to take longer for their settlement. For example, I've had situations where one of the parties needs to go to rehab, and we don't want to negotiate a parenting plan until that's happened. Or we have a business that's being sold and we need to wait for the business sale to enter into a final agreement. So it's really up to the parties. It can be much quicker than traditional divorce if that's a priority for the family. First, schedule a free 30-minute discovery call. And then in this discovery call, if we decide to work together, the next step is we will put together a customized case strategy, creating your divorce roadmap. This includes setting up sessions with your divorce coach, planning out your toolbox, and letting you know what to expect. So click the link below or call us at 770-217-0798 to get your free consultation today.